Yeah,
I'm President of the United States of America. I made Microsoft. And have you met my son, Mark Zuckerberg?
All right, roll the intro.
Evening, officer. Is something wrong?
Don't worry, son. Routine traffic stop. We got reports of someone driving under the influence. You know anything about that?
Oh, wouldn't it be me? I'm only under one influence.
And what would that be?
The influence of Jesus.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Under the Influence.
What's going on?
I'm your host, Jerry Crane.
I don't like
joined
this.
by my two favorite co-hosts and brothers in Christ. He's still reeling in confusion, so we're going to start over here.
Am I still Levi?
No, don't answer. I got it. Welcome back, guys.
Hey, can you quit kicking me from under the table, please?
Sorry.
Are you just kidding?
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not going to restart it. Stop whispering that I'm going to
Crane.
What are you doing?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Under the Influence. I'm your host, Jude Crane. I almost said Jerry because I was still thinking about how offended I was. Joined by my favorite hosts in the entire galaxy and brothers in Christ.
One up me.
And I love them more than Jerry loves us. I'm the better host for the opening.
I'm the better host.
Levi Thiessen.
And
Jerry Crane.
if you ever step on my lines again,
Why does
this
it always
show
have to be you that
will go
starts it?
down forever.
You're going to burn it to the ground?
It doesn't. I will take this show down.
You're just
I will take this show down.
anything that could cancel something in public eye, you'll just start spouting off real quickly.
Here's a little thought experiment for the listener. Imagine
Here's a little song I wrote.
Here's a little song I wrote called
And he's
Cancel Me Now.
Note for note. Don't worry.
It's called Cancel Me Now.
Jude will
And
cancel us.
This song, if you ever step on my toes again, will be sung, and it involves everything cancelable.
Do you want to sing it? I can just cut it out later.
Sure.
Hang on, let me get you some background music.
Sure.
Oh, I don't have that cool, like...
That's all right. Levi can do something for me.
You want
Levi, will you drop a fat beat for me real quick?
to... Levi, will you drop a fat beat for me?
My name is Jude, and this is my podcast. Jerry stepped on my toes. Now I gotta shoot him with a gun. We're gonna cut that.
We are probably actually going to cut that.
I will take this podcast down with me.
I will take this podcast down with me.
I'll take this podcast down with me.
I'll take this podcast down with me.
I'm Jude's Irish alter ego, and I hate all things podcasting and happiness. And I'll take this.
You're
podcast
Liam
down
Neeson.
I hate podcasting, and I'm gonna take this podcast down. I have a particular set of skills
At disassembling podcasts.
at
canceling
myself.
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
That's right. Anyway, I love this podcast. And
I do too.
We'll never bring it down. It'll
That's
never
something
fall.
maybe we should talk about.
I might bring it down.
Don't bring me down.
Wait.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't bring me down.
Oh.
Don't bring me down.
I don't know. Actually, there's a word they say.
There's a
isn't there?
word I've never figured out what it was.
What? I don't know if it's inappropriate or not. It probably
no
is.
way it's either.
Dude, there's so many of those
Isn't that
songs.
Queen?
There's so. Is it Queen?
Isn't it Queen?
You're right. Queen's impervious to being
No,
inappropriate.
okay,
It's not
okay, just listen. Let's just all be adults for a second. You think the word they go, skadoosh, they're saying something like some
Boopy.
horrible word
Schmoopy.
that's inappropriate?
No, but it could be something that's just like
Don't bring me down.
not appropriate for the podcast.
Domestic
I'll be right back.
abuse. Don't bring me down. I can keep going.
Saying things that should bring you down. They're like, but don't bring me down.
Yeah.
Don't bring me down.
Keep talking amongst yourselves. boys.
Recession? Don't bring me down.
The NCAA?
Did Jerry turn off the lights? The NCAA? What?
Don't bring me down.
No, what I was saying maybe we should talk about is how much we love this podcast.
Hey!
I do love it, man.
I do.
And this podcast wouldn't be possible without viewers like you. Thank you.
PBS. What that was?
Yeah,
We should record.
That's a deep memory.
We should record a like an actual real attempt at trying to sound just like that, and like make a little with you doing that.
Want a break from the ads?
just say nothing for like 5 minutes.
I'm not going to tell you how. No, wait. Here we go. It starts with.
Want a break from the ads? Click now to. I don't actually. I've never heard this. I have Spotify Premium. I'm too rich for that.
And we're back. Thank you for that ad segment from one of our sponsors. No, I love this podcast. It means so much to me. It's just really important. It's been really important in my life. What?
So, this isn't our first attempt at some sort
Comedy.
of media presence. So,
me, I'm
we've
sorry.
made content before.
Oh,
We have? Oh, no.
yikes!
We have.
Are
About
you
to bring up
talking
some
about what I'm
deep
talking
memories.
about? What I'm
I
thinking
think
about?
so.
Are you talking about what I'm talking? Are you thinking about what I'm talking about?
about what
Are you talking to me?
Oh, yeah.
Did you rub my lamp?
No.
Did you rub my lamp?
So, we were all
Did you steal my lamp?
drama
Did
children.
you steal my
Did
lamp?
you steal my lamb?
Did you steal my lamp?
Did you rub my lamp? Did you steal my lamp?
Did you steal my
you marry
lamb?
my daughter?
That's what the Jews were saying in Egypt.
Did you
the
steal
night
my
before.
lamp?
The shepherd that went looking
Did you
for the
steal my
lamp.
lamb?
You mean the night before the Passover? Oh my goodness!
Did you steal my lamp?
Did you steal my lamb?
Pans to the door covered in lamb's blood. No.
No.
Sure. Sure.
Sure.
I know where I'll be appointing those frogs and locusts.
It's too late.
What were you
Bible
saying, Levi?
reference for you.
Oh, I was saying we all used to be the drama kids at school.
At our school, small school, they had a drama class, and the class was like the drama class. But when you say drama kids, or no, theater kids is what I'm thinking of. Never mind, you can say drama kids. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with theater kids.
Yeah, what's wrong with theater kids?
Yeah, what is
No,
what's your
I realized the
problem
way
with
There's a
I
lot
said
of people that proudly
No,
proclaim.
that's great.
I have many friends that were proud theater kids.
Then they should be. Well, they should be happy about
Hey,
that.
Jerry, what's wrong with dorks? Huh?
Yeah.
What's wrong with nerds?
No, nothing.
You know, I don't really present as a theater kid.
Yeah.
But emotionally.
Anyway, us drama kids and Jerry the theater kid.
Jerry with a striped long sleeve shirt under
See,
a
that's what I'm
t-shirt,
talking
and he's like,
Wearing a fedora.
I'll just stop.
Yeah. We should really do musicals.
Dude, I would have loved if we did.
That would have been kind of
That
fun.
would have been
It would have been
At the
so much
time-
fun.
At the time, I
it would have been
hated it. But.
horrible.
dude. If
Oh, yeah, none of
Papa
us
was
could
a
sing.
Preacher was a musical,
No, I was the lead, dude. I don't want to do that.
too bad because
I would have been
our
the lead.
scene
Our
would have
scene
been
would have been
so
so
great.
Do you guys want to do it as a musical real quick? Let me get the lines for you.
Boom, 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 boom,
Do you guys
boom,
remember
boom. What was
any
your character's
lines?
name?
Do you guys
I have
remember
no
any
idea. Me
lines
neither.
from any play you've done?
Yes.
Which ones? Because
I remember running around as a drunkard, and I had to do a fall, drop my flask,
That was
pick
fun.
it back up, run to the back.
The Marsh and the Salt Flats. That's it. From when I was like 12 and I dressed up as a weatherman in our town. And I was like, I gave a weather report in a fake mustache and a bowler hat.
yeah.
And I was like, precipitation is above, except I was like, precipitation is above 13.
I don't remember that, dude.
Dude, I had to, Micah had me come out. I played 3 different roles. in
Yeah,
that
I
play.
do remember you playing 3 roles.
A paper boy, a dead boy, and a weatherman.
Didn't that one started with you and me, didn't it? That play? Because it was me standing out there while you like delivered
No,
the
didn't
paper
it?
to me.
It started with you and Logan Erickson, and then I came by.
That's right. Because you just walked by
And I
and
went,
give me the paper. And
"What's
Logan
up,
Erickson was the
nerd?"
milkman.
That's right, he was the milkman.
Yeah.
The milkman.
Yeah, I
no.
was the drunk choir director.
That's right. In Papa was a preacher, though. We were friends.
That
We
was
were
our
brothers.
town. So
we
the
were
first.
we were a
No,
band.
you weren't brothers.
Oh.
No,
he
we
was your
weren't.
friend.
Oh,
he was your
oh.
bad influence
I ran
friend.
off to join
You
the
were my
circus.
son.
Yeah, you were joining.
I dropped in and I'm like, yo, Levi, check out this sick dance.
and then we started.
And then we did a dance.
Buzzard
Now,
loping.
the certain circus I was joining, was a little bit risque.
Yeah,
it
well,
was
not risque. It was
No,
just
that's not the right word. It was
a minstrel show. I mean, it's an old 50s thing.
Yeah.
And the point of that scene is that you're the bad influence friend to my son, and you're like, no, it's fine, when obviously it's not.
And then Dad walks in.
Watch
on
me
us
do this dance, and then I pop and lock,
doing a
and
culturally insensitive
you do a dance like a bird.
Yeah, I do.
like a buzzard.
Mr. Bentley was like, I need someone to play a struggling racist young man.
Jew.
I was like, I'll do it, Mr. Bentley. I'll sacrifice my image for the good of the people.
Yeah. And then I was
good of
cast as
people.
What was that? Like freshman year? One was 12 Angry. Was that our freshman
That was
year?
freshman, because I wasn't in that one.
This was your senior year, wasn't
But
it?
Papa was a preacher with senior
Papa
year.
Yeah, because I was in 8th grade.
But 12 Angry.
That was freshman.
That was
'Cause
freshman.
I was there for that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were a juror that was like, oh, I can't stand NASCAR.
Let's...
No, but anyway.
I'm looking for the full script of Papa was a preacher so I can get you guys to
That's awesome.
walk
I
through
would totally. That's
that
so
scene.
sick.
I think that'd be fun, but I can't find it for free
Let's
anywhere.
write a musical.
Makes sense.
I mean,
I have my script at home.
I think
just
that
don't
I
have
have
it.
also
mine
have my
somewhere.
script.
Maybe we'll do that on a future. Hey, okay, we'll save that for a future episode.
Yeah.
Let's have you guys play through a scene.
I have my script.
Hey, instead of
That I
some of
never
those
got
cold
to do.
opens that, or wait, I mean, those are real, but
What cold opens?
yeah, exactly.
What cold opens?
Those weird situations that just sometimes happen.
Those candid moments that we happen to get on.
like
That we
Audio,
happen to get on the air.
Yeah, moment with Levi's marsupial pouch and
Yes.
us getting raided by the FBI. But
Yes.
the next time one of those things was gonna happen, maybe we just instead do a
little scene.
cold reading
Yeah.
of a play. We should have some playbooks here. I don't know. People probably would not find that interesting.
I bet if we filmed it and released it just as a little bit. Of
I
would be a
bet
cool,
there's
like,
like
advertisement
3
for the show.
people that
yeah,
would.
let's just release a little. Let's do a little extra. Let's go the extra mile.
For
Release
a
little scene.
For Patreon.
No.
yeah,
for the
that would be
people.
fun.
I think we should
put it
release
on Patreon first, and then
We'll release like a
longer version.
a
The
2-minute
whole play.
The entire
three of
play.
us play
Levi,
everybody in
Jerry,
the
and
play.
I will
We're gonna do an entire play.
read through.
Let's find a script of a play that like may not have to have 3 people, but like that we could do that for.
Absolutely.
Dude,
where there's
I
never
bet that
more
we
than
could
3 on screen. And then like let's do it's just we don't read it at all. We do a cold reading, a fully cold reading, record the entire thing.
I'll make the set. We'll film it right on that wall.
Yeah, we don't need a set. It's
No, it's just
it's just an
paper.
hour and 25 minutes of the 3 of us walking in and out of frame, reading with all the passion that we can our lines, and then leaving and then doing
I think
every
if we
scene.
just got some Goodwill costumes and some construction paper on the wall, it'd really bring it
I
together.
actually really want
That
to do
would
this.
bring
That'd
it
be
all
really
together.
cool.
This would be so fun.
would be very
It would be so dumb, and everybody that watched it would be like, it's only fun to watch because like they listen to the show or something, you know.
Yeah.
But like nobody else is gonna watch it and be like, this is awesome.
Hey, if anyone in the Discord knows
I-
of a play that has 3 to 5 characters,
It can have more characters.
It can
but
have
can
way
never
more
have more than
characters.
3 on
Just
screen.
3
at
on
once.
screen.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good number.
3 to
Between
5.
3 and maybe 3 and 7 characters.
Yeah.
Because then one of us has to play a few, but because then we don't have to have too many different costumes too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But never more than 3 on stage at one time. And it would be enjoyable to like. It's got maybe some funny moments and stuff like something that you think I mean, hey, you listening right now, you sitting there in your car, or at home.
Or if, like, I listen to it in the bathtub, lights off, candles lit, a book.
So you right now, that person,
You read a book while you listen
know
to the
us
podcast.
better than a lot of people. You know us better than a lot of people. You know our personalities pretty well. If you're a theater kid, I'm sorry for offending you earlier, but a cool
Trying to walk it all back.
cool play that you think we should do, please, because I would love that, and we could release a clip of it here, just the audio on here sometime, and then put it up on Patreon, and then release little fun clips of it online.
I would love that.
Dude, I would have so much
I
fun
would
with that.
love that.
I miss doing plays, and this would be a horrible representation of that, but it would be fun.
It would be
nonetheless.
so much fun to
And then
do.
we could have like a guest on, like maybe we could get Carson to come back. and do a play
so
with us.
when you were saying that we would do like a read through of like our town,
Yeah.
I bet we could get half the cast to come back.
Oh,
and-
probably.
Since half the cast are our D&D group,
Yeah.
basically.
I've been trying to
Get
laugh
David,
better.
Carson,
I bet we could get some of the girls from our class to come and do
Yeah, Maddie,
it. Hannah.
maybe. Yeah, that would be really cool if we get Hannah.
Yeah. I think that this
She
would
brings
be
a star quality.
I think that
She
we should
does.
bring this up with the class at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe reach out to other people. But
Well, I mean, our class was basically the whole.
I mean, it was. It
Dude,
really was.
imagine how much, and I'm totally making an assumption.
I say she
but
brings
feel
a star
safe
quality
making
because
it.
she was awesome in plays, but also because she have a pretty decent like online following.
Yeah, she was
Hannah,
just
yeah.
in Europe.
She's in
She was in
Paris.
Versailles.
So you're saying something though?
Oh, how nice that would be for Mr. Bentley to watch.
Yeah, it would.
He would
He'd love
love
it. And Mr. Gallagher would probably enjoy it too,
Oh,
because
yeah,
apparently
yeah.
all of our cool teachers listen to this show.
Yeah, all the best teachers. Wait, does Mr. Bentley
All
listen?
of our teachers are the best teachers.
I certainly hope so.
I don't think so. But you were just saying one time that you're like, he would love this.
That's right.
Oh no,
he'd like to
I
come on.
talked to him about it and I gave him a card. I don't know if he actually listened.
I think
You had just said one time,
so
like,
hey, if you do.
you're like, Mr. Bentley would love to be on the show or something.
Oh yes, that is what he said. That
Oh,
is what
he told you that?
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
told
he
me.
would love to hang out with us.
Oh, I thought you told me that just like, oh no, I think he'd love to be on
No,
the show. And I was
like
like, really?
during Caleb's graduation, I had brought up the
Uh-huh.
podcast, and he had been like, "Yeah, I would love to hang out with you guys."
That would be so cool. We should do that.
Yeah, we should.
Because then that would be a great one for us to like talk about plays and stuff like that.
Oh man.
But
Man, that
anyway,
was so fun.
where I was going with all of this?
Yes.
Sorry. I'm not sorry.
No, we made a movie. It's
Oh, why are we talking about it?
We didn't make a movie.
I would say we could
did.
watch
I
the
loved
trailer and react to it, but like that's something that won't translate to audio at all because it's all just music and
Because-
stills. And also the Discord doesn't need to see that atrocity.
Well,
I want
one
them
of them needs to be burned and never looked at again. And one
Which
of them,
one?
didn't we already
And then,
delete
and
that
then
only
the other
one.
one is called Brothers Chronos.
Is the one you're talking about the back it up one, or the one where like we look at the
That
garage
one
door?
No.
hardly even exists.
Yeah.
That one's
That's when it's
fine.
like, oh
He's-
look, it's a
he's
creepy
talking
guy
about
looking
the
through a
Star
window.
Trek.
Star Trek.
No, that's so good.
It's not.
It is good.
It's-
You're wrong.
It's not.
They're all cringy. That is not paramount.
I'm not
amongst the
talking about cringe. I'm
It's-
talking about the choice of script.
Yeah,
We
the
kind of-
script was kind of.
It's still not bad though.
you should rewatch it.
Yeah.
Because
Let's watch it right now because that one
Okay.
does have audio.
Hey, audio listeners, you're not going to hear this because it's
Yeah.
going to get.
this is gonna get.
It's gonna
taken
get
out.
cut.
Well, you know what? We got to go
And-
delete that off the Facebook or YouTube channel or whatever right now because you just said what the other one was called, so people are going to find it.
We do.
It's
not so-
unlisted,
it's
isn't it?
No, dude, I love that thing. I would never unlist
I
that.
thought
It's
that
not
one got
something
unlisted.
we should.
I'll
be
find
incredibly
out.
Proud of.
Who are you? Oh, I remember what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Don't
You're talking about that really bad William Shatner
I'm not
impression
even
you do.
talking about. I wear a crop top. That's fine. I'm in handcuffs. That's fine.
What would be wrong about him? Yeah. It is gone. Oh no, that one was just a trailer, right?
Was it? I
Oh
think
no, we had a whole thing for it.
You're right. You walked.
The
in.
trailer
Yeah,
was the
because
best part.
he walks
The
in.
thing that I left published is the trailer.
Let's
Dude,
run that.
That was 5 years ago.
Ooh, 15
so
years
old.
old. I was
What?
15.
Whoa, you look
were-
it.
you sweet
Almost
summer
16.
child.
So yeah, Galaxy Voyage is what that was called.
Great name.
We'll just play it, see if. I mean,
Try and guess who the leader
the voice, if that's what you're talking about, is in here.
is. Yeah. What voice?
Wait, what's your problem with it then?
Dude, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. Is it the?
No. It's the script.
Oh, you're just saying it's like bad writing?
No.
Okay. The Galaxy is their sandbox. Oh, there is no voice in it. It's just Jude. It's just like voice, like there are voice lines, but the voice is not there. He's
It's
talking.
Silent B-roll.
Dude, Jude looks 15. That's crazy.
well,
Their
I-
hearts lead their voyage. Oh, he's like falling out of his seat right now. He just hit his head against a control panel. Dude, he looks so funny. And the
Such
little
a good look.
where skill is everything. Oh, he's got two chins. And failure is not an option. Oh, he's got two chins again. Oh, he's wearing handcuffs. That's
It's
me.
Jerry in
Oh,
the
I forgot
bathroom.
about that part of it.
Yeah.
An empty chair. Join the crew. He looks at the camera and experience.
Rubbing my chest.
Galaxy Voyage. Coming this summer.
Galaxy Voyage.
Galaxy Voyage.
Tell
Galaxy?
me later then.
I will tell you right now, and somebody
No.
can edit.
Our other one though, the Brothers Kronos, is pretty. So wait, was the trailer that was fine then?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Yeah, the trailer.
This one I love because our little intro was this sad street light.
That's beautiful.
That's a cool.
Schloop.
I
TV.
love Shaloop TV.
Scientists on the verge of a breakthrough. Jude and Levi are hitting each other, looking at the camera until Levi gets shot. A murderer, with a backwards Deadpool mask next week. He unveiled a warming cabinet, double chin again, fell on the ground. One man travels back in time. They're looking at plans. He's on top of a roof. He fell.
I'm dead.
To fix the timeline. Levi's pointing and yelling in a public place, he's got a gun!
Dude, what a
Filming
day.
that?
We had
Yeah.
to film that scene like 3 times because
We had to film
Levi
it so many times.
yelled, he's got a gun!
It just didn't work well.
Yeah.
The yell didn't mean we had to film it again, but the yell was like, Levi, we have to film it again, but dude, it's so loud.
We were also in a sketch.
Jude taking off his glasses. Oh, here's the assassin again. Now Jude gets shot. Now Levi runs. Levi, aka the sacrifice. Jude, aka the messenger. Jerry, aka Dean of Theoretical Science. Also the assassin. And again, he unveils a time machine warming cabinet, and Levi looks like such a doofus in this. You're like,
I loved this scene.
that's the when you go.
yeah.
Christopher Columbus.
Don't ruin it for people.
Dude, that's such a good line.
Let them.
Christopher Columbus. Well, I'm gonna go find it.
Dude, our roots in time travel all the way back.
Why are we so obsessed with it? And now it divides us.
That's right. Yeah.
That is true.
What used to bring
Oh
us
wait,
together.
are we allowed to play that clip? Because you technically don't say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we are.
Yeah, we're allowed.
Do you want to go?
I mean,
teach some?
we understand that it's cringy and really bad.
Yeah, we make it. It was a dumb.
It's not loading.
It's a bad decision on us.
No, it's just we're children when we made this, and oh wait, this is the after credit scene. Is that a good one?
It's a great one.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Is that a good one? Yeah. No.
No, that sounds like a you thing to say.
Your cranberry juice.
Oh, I went right to it. What cranberries?
Your cranberry juice commercials.
Ooh, I've got
Those
that.
are-
I rewatched that recently. It's pretty funny. It's really
great
cringy, but
cranberry juice.
all right. So this is Levi's
Wild
best
cranberries.
line in the entire
Wild things.
film. We made a film.
It is a feature-length film. It's 90 minutes.
9, actually.
Sorry,
exactly
9
9.
minutes. I
It's
still
1/10 of that, but
You want to go teach some Indians some English and mess with Columbus?
I unveil a time machine and Levi
Dude,
goes.
the implication of that line. So the two of you travel back in time to the indigenous people
Yep.
of the Americas,
The
well
Americas.
before Christopher Columbus arrives.
Yeah.
So that means like 2 generations, right? If you want it to stick.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So that way they're like fluent. So 3rd generation, when he gets there, they're all speaking fluent English. And Christopher Columbus is like, what? What? Think about that. He would arrive and have these people
Because
he shows up.
Portuguese.
Oh yeah, he doesn't speak English.
He's not
does he?
even an English speaker,
But he would
land
know
there
English.
and be like, "Oh my
He would
gosh,
probably have known some English, right?
those
Probably.
Britons,
Oh yeah, he'd
British made it here already."
The British made it to India, and we're like,
yeah. Well, no, that's what I was gonna say. The crazy thing is because he misinterpreted where he landed as being India,
Yeah.
and that's why
Oh,
he called him
that would have
So
actually
he would have been like,
cemented in his mind that he made it to India.
no. Oh, because they knew
Because
English.
They would have known some
because-
English.
Well, no, because it was later that Britain colonized India. Or else he wouldn't have been like.
but there was already trade routes to India. The whole point
Then
of
how
this-
was he so confused about where he landed? If there were already trade routes to India.
well, dude,
because he thought that he was going to India by circumnavigating the world.
there was this just big thing in his way called a continent.
My bad, I
Yeah,
forgot
that-
about that part.
or two.
Root of the continent, if you ask me.
Yeah. And then there was a bunch of islands also in the way.
He landed in the islands.
In the Galapagos.
Well,
the
I guess
Galapagos.
multiple sets of islands.
Yeah. Archipelagos.
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 Archipelago.
Oh yeah, I forgot that this is also technically cannot. What were you guys doing a second ago?
Archipelagos.
I just wasn't listening, and then I started talking, and then
Archipelago.
my
Archduke
mind
Ferdinand.
caught up again, and you guys.
Archduke Ferdinand.
Speaking of, you get shot right here.
That's right.
And
This is a great scene.
and we canonize this movie as in the MCU because Levi says this.
Well,
Wait, no, that was the same line.
Well,
No, it's right here. It's loading. It's where you show that under your shirt, shut up. You're wearing a folded up apron, and that's what we used as a bulletproof vest for the prop.
No. Got him.
Got him.
Guess you could say we played him.
Dude, your
Yeah, you
voice.
could.
Dude,
The diamond.
the way you go, whoa, it looks like we tried to pass off. It looks like we tried to pass off you pulling out this bullet out of you by it being in your mouth. Because you like bad sleight of hand. Look at the way it looks like bad sleight of hand right here.
Yeah, you could.
Oh. Then you drop it on the ground. Oh, where's the vibranium line? You're like, don't worry, it's vibranium. Why did we do that?
because
we're so dumb.
Dude, we were.
Wait a minute. You guys were my age. You're the dumb ones.
Don't bring attention to the fact that we were 20. No, we were 19 here. Levi might have been 21.
No. Maybe, actually.
That's impossible. You're not 2 years older than me. That was a joke.
Oh. All right. I'm not wearing shoes.
I know. I love that too. You're just barefoot.
For free.
So for the listener, Levi is sitting on a couch holding papers that say Project Dark Matter, top secret. And he's like figuring out the math of time travel. And this guy,
on the sofa.
this assassin comes in to kill him. But Levi's supposed to be this like incredible scientist. He's sitting on a sofa with no shoes on, looking at
Or socks.
Oh yeah, barefoot.
No, whoa, what do you want? Well, it's a good thing we made this out of vibranium. Looks like he's using diamonds now.
Dude, the way you say that, who does he sound like? Looks like they're using diamonds now.
looks like they're using diamonds
Good thing we made this out of vibranium.
Who do you sound like?
Looks like he's using diamonds now.
Who does he sound like? A guy.
Keanu Reeves?
No. There's like
Good
a
thing we made this out of
YouTuber.
vibranium. Looks like he's using diamonds now.
I don't know.
Oh, it's an actor. It's
Good
not
thing we made this out of vibranium. Looks like he's using diamonds now.
diamonds now.
Diamonds now.
I don't know. It's funny though.
Dude, that was so much fun.
All right, this is
though.
probably really boring. They can't see any of the stuff we're
can't
talking
see
about. We're just
anything.
talking
Just
about.
imagine-
I don't know if it's in the final cut or not, but there was definitely a part that we filmed where I have to
It is in
quickly
the final
change
cut.
shirts.
Isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like
So you can see the reflection of
So
me just
the
taking off my
camera, the
shirt.
camera
It's,
is on Levi. It moves away and it comes back.
and you see Levi.
When the camera moves
quickly
away,
change his
Levi
shirt.
needs to change shirts. But when the camera's away, it's looking at a window that shows Levi in the reflection changing his shirt.
so funny.
It
It's
is
pointless to
ridiculous.
find it because they're not going to hear
Yeah.
it. But
Oh, we have a montage of
We
building.
have a montage.
Is it-
I
it's
was
changing into
very
this shirt, so
proud
it's gotta
of
be-
that montage.
oh yeah, it was fun to film.
This was the highlight of my life.
This is not good.
No,
Like this isn't. No, this isn't even like bad good. This just isn't good.
It's bad good.
I think it's bad good.
It's bad good
because it's us.
You're just blinded because you're a part of it.
Okay, Levi's
That is
pulling some
loud.
stuff. Is it though?
Very
I'm
loud,
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, listener. Better? Okay, Jude's bringing sword to where you're walking.
Levi's got a
Spins an office chair. Jude brings in Master Chief's helmet, puts it on the chair, and then they just roll in a finished time machine.
That's right.
no, we had to.
I know.
Got it.
You have to look at some. But I have a playlist that has our Ocean Spray cranberry juice, and it is a pretty good time now for us to go ahead and roll an ad. So we'll go ahead and roll this ad real quick for everybody listening. It's an original short Jude and I made with our uncle Michael, the one that stands
Michael?
on tops of cliffs and
Best rock climber right now.
and
not-
I
that is
don't
the truth. It's not
know if this is going to be interesting to listen to. Do we want to play it or we just not?
I don't think it'll translate to audio.
No, it won't because I'm driving a
Because-
car.
It's already terrible audio.
Yeah, and then
And
it's all
the
about
funny thing is,
visual.
yeah, Jude sitting in this bathtub answering the phone.
8 years old.
It's so funny.
it's incredible.
And then I punched Jude in the head.
That's true.
Jerry will definitely link to.
So
all
we'll
of
just go ahead
this.
and run this ad real quick. I'm terribly embarrassed with this, but this is my voice as a 10-year-old boy. Here we go.
That was
Jude.
me.
Ocean spray cranberry juice. Wild cranberries make you do wild things.
That was the whole premise. The whole premise of this short was that Michael goes, hey, we should make a movie. And I went, what if we made an ocean spray cranberry juice thing? Because I had thought of that tagline. It's this like, it'd be funny if there was a thing where like you do something crazy and the tagline is that ocean spray cranberry juice, wild cranberries, because like they're growing these wild cranberries make you do wild things. Because the whole premise of the video is that I called Jude and I'm like, hey, I'm throwing a party tonight. You want to come? And Jude's like this loser that I wouldn't invite. And he's like,
Absolutely. What should I bring?
and I'm like, well, there's going to be, or you're like, will there be a chicken there?
That's right.
And then I'm like, sure, Stan or Stu or whatever his name is. There's going to be a chicken. You're like,
I like that
Yeah.
you were 8.
and then you're like, sweet. What should I bring? I'm like, bring the spray. And then you're like, okay. And then Jude brings a 6-pack of ocean spray cranberry juice to the door.
In a
bathrobe. In a bathrobe. Because you were just in the
'Cause I
bathroom.
was just in the bath.
And then I punch him in the face, take the ocean spray cranberry juice, rev up, run away with it, slam the door, and then it just goes ocean spray cranberry juice, wild cranberries make you do wild things. And then it cuts to a clip of Jude lying on the ground
We
in a
were
bathrobe.
doing after credits.
This
stuff
isn't an after
before
credits. This is
Marvel.
like there's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of commercials that do this. Like they show the tag and then it cuts back.
I'm
to
just
like,
saying Marvel kind of took we
there
kind
were
of
no
inspired
credits.
the
Yeah, whatever.
MCU.
Yeah, we did. It cuts back to Jude in the bathrobe, lying on the ground, looking up into the sky. And to get this shot, we climbed a tree and sat on top of the roof.
Our Uncle Michael's on the roof.
On the roof, he is a climber. On the roof, looking down at Jude as Jude looks up into the air and screams. We upticked your voice, right? You weren't that high.
I don't think we did.
No, there's no way. I think
Dude, that's how
we
your
did.
voice
We did because listen to the beginning. When I'm on the phone, I have a weirdly
that's
deep
right.
voice.
Yeah, you have like a serial killer
and then
voice.
and then you're like, hey Jude, listen.
Chicken?
You're chicken?
Oh, the reason you think there's a chicken is because I say, "What's kicking chicken?"
And I'm like, you're kicking a chicken?
Yeah, listen, dude.
Hey!
Hey.
What?
What, dude? We're children. And then,
What?
What's kicking chicken?
what's kicking chicken? I say 2 greetings.
Yeah.
Hey, what's
kicking
kicking chicken? And then you go,
You're kicking a chicken?
You're kicking a chicken?
Hey, Stan, you ain't got
Stan. Hey, Stan.
You ain't got no-
You
this audio
ain't got
quality.
no life, right? Ugh.
Yeah.
no life, right?
No.
No. You ain't got no life, right? No. He's literally in a
Hey,
bath.
can we just recreate this?
We should.
just
Hey, you ain't got
Well,
no
I like
life,
this
right?
turn where he goes screech. We added this sound effect.
Sweet. Party
Sweet.
at my place. 8 o'clock. Don't forget.
Whoops.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Wait, will the chicken be there?
The chicken, dude. Jude's hand is floating. He's
Whatever.
holding it like this.
Wait, will the chicken be there?
because the bathtub is not full of water.
No, there's no-
I'm in shorts. But in my genius child actor mind, I was like, let me method act.
Yeah, my hand is
arm
floating.
in the water.
The audio is terrible right here too because you can't even hear it. Because
All the audio is
Dude,
terrible.
the audio was terrible.
You thought that was
throughout.
bad? Listen to this.
Sweet, you're here. Bring a spray.
There's just background noise because we're
yeah.
recording this
At your home.
during the holidays.
a family
when
get-together.
Yeah, it's family get together. This is before everyone got there on New Year's or Christmas or whatever. So bad. This makes the first few episodes of our podcast seem like masterclass.
It's crazy what 12 years can do.
Oh, horrible stage punch. Look at this. I just throw my fist past his face, and he goes, ugh. And I rev up and run away.
Dude, I want to make movies again.
It would be fun. Well, we
It's
talked about it,
always
like
fun.
more Christian content. If we had just like think about the skit guys, those Christian guys online. You know those guys?
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
I
What
forgot
if-
about them as well.
What if we did stuff like that? Just like
could.
fun, like this, but
Yeah, I desperately really want to recreate this.
this one. What would
almost.
Levi do though? He would
Well,
just be Michael. And
We can write a character.
Yeah, let's put me in somewhere.
can we make Levi Stan?
Okay,
Sure,
That was
I'll-
my breakout role.
That was his breakout role.
Yeah.
Who
so
will I
you
be?
and I have to play the same thing. Levi's only
to
in
write
it
a
for a
new
second,
character.
because while I'm answering the door, there's just another person in the house that's trying to like scoot past me. So I'm taking up too much
half a
room in the
second of
hallway.
Levi.
And it's Levi just like, dude, can I get past? And I'm like, oh, sorry. And then I open the door and go,
We'll introduce a third character. We'll rewrite it, but then
that's it. It's
we'll,
just
like,
you're like,
Let's polish up the script.
we'll really
add in the third character.
put in work to the scenes. Like we'll add some B-roll, a nice panning shot while I'm in the bathtub.
He
with some
will
candles
actually
lit.
be in the bathtub.
I will be.
Like a bubble bath.
Yes.
okay, we're making a lot of promises this episode. We are going to do a full hour and a half cold reading of a play that they tell us to do.
It will be.
We are
very
going
hot
to
read. Like
It'll be a hot
We're
read.
gonna go insane intense.
viral.
It'll be a hot read.
So it's a hot read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing that. A hot reading.
a hot reading.
And then we're also going to recreate a movie that we made as kids.
What is this? A 2.5 minute video?
A minute and 8 seconds. But
And a
still, we
sequel
have
to-
committed to making it better.
And we'll finally do a sequel to Brothers Corona.
Hey,
No.
Hey, I'm not going to promise anything except I just want to recreate this.
You're promising that you want to do it, not that you will.
Yes.
That's a stupid promise.
That is a very stupid.
I promise you that I feel this way.
I think
My fellow Americans,
We've had a lot
I
of-
promise you that I too wish that we could end this.
My
war.
fellow Americans, the economy in the toilet, I promise you I also don't like it.
Listen, you're not paying attention. I promise you I want to make it better.
I promise you that I want to have world peace.
I want to do this job, but it's the difference between where we are and who we could be.
Thank you, Mr. President.
That was no particular president.
No, that was, I thought it was Bill Gates.
Andrew Jackson.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, the best U.S. president?
Yeah, the best U.S.
13th
president
of the United
Microsoft.
States.
I don't know how to do a Bill Gates impression.
I'm Bill Gates.
I'm the president of the United States. Microsoft. So everybody, I'm Bill Gates. I'm president now.
Yeah,
I'm
that's,
president of the United States of America. I made Microsoft. And have you met my son, Mark Zuckerberg? I adopted him as a 40-year-old man.
dude, the way he's breathing.
The breathing is
The way you look.
That was my Bill Gates impression.
I wish we had video for this. Someday, man.
Here's another promise.
Well,
Well,
we're talking about it.
A little bird.
Whoa.
Logistically speaking, it's involved.
It's a
man.
nightmare.
Dude. You're so loud because you're
very close.
I'm
to
sorry.
this.
you're really close, and you put your arms around the microphone. Whoa. It's kind of good sounding.
Everybody, tell me how this sounds.
Everybody scream.
Want a break from the ads?
Want a break from the ads?
Sorry.
Want a break from the ads?
What's up with that?
Yeah. You said you had like a question. You have a question? For
I
us?
do, but we're 40 minutes in now. I don't know if I want to
fire
waste
from
time.
the hip.
All right, here we go. I've got an opening question for you guys for the start of the podcast here.
Good. That was all the intro.
Stinger.
Stinger.
That was the stinger.
No, I'll just cut through that and make it less.
Could you imagine if we aired all that and then just ran the stinger right now?
That'd be kind of funny.
kind of funny.
Let's tell the guy in the chair to do that.
I'm not opposed.
Oh, you mean to run the intro now?
Yeah, right now we roll the intro.
That would be kind of funny. Maybe he'll do it.
Maybe, maybe not.
And right.
All right, roll the intro. Evening, officer. Is something wrong? Don't worry, son. Routine traffic stop. We got a report to someone driving under the influence. You know anything about that?
All right, so welcome everybody back to episode 13 of season 2. To start off the podcast, you guys, I had a question for you. Kind of a prompt, a little bit of a prompt. Prompt.
Kind of a prompt. A little bit of a prompt. Okay.
A prompt exercise here. What is your most embarrassing story?
This is targeted.
Oh, it is? It's definitely not targeted.
I've got a lot.
But what is the most? That's okay to tell on the podcast, I suppose.
Oh, well, there's still a lot. I've done so many embarrassing things.
Really?
Yes.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I can't think of one for myself. So you'll probably have to tell me mine, and I'll have to tell you if it's okay or not. Because I can't think of something that's that embarrassing that happened to me.
There's your go-to, which is
The one that I told on the PrivyCast?
Yeah, on the PrivyCast.
Hey, everybody, go check out PrivyCast. I was on another podcast and I did an interview with a cool guy named Hunter Hoover. It's the show, the podcast about bathrooms recorded in a bathroom. It's pretty funny. We already shouted it out once, but you should go check it out. My episodes come out now.
It's funny.
It's cool. It was funny, yeah.
It's a funny episode.
If you want to hear a funny story about bathrooms and me, which I won't tell here because it'll devalue that.
Bathrooms and me.
What? Oh, and I also slam just a lot of references to things Jude's done.
So much of that was just.
But no, let's not get distracted.
Listen.
What is your most embarrassing story, Levi? Can you think of one for me, Jude?
No, I mean,
one time I lost.
really.
I lost Homecoming King.
you broke your leg twice.
Oh,
which
it is kind of
hilarious.
embarrassing. I think it's funny though. I'm not embarrassed of it though.
Yeah,
I was
like, funny.
embarrassed then. I was embarrassed.
I'm sure.
then.
Yeah. Like there's different kinds.
No,
of
the first
embarrassing.
one, not the second one. I was embarrassed for the first one.
It was high school retreat, right?
Yeah, and because I did it on a slide. I went down a slide and broke my leg.
I mean, I can
Not a
only
little
think
kid
of the
slide. It was a
one.
fire escape slide.
I can only think of the one, and I'm pretty sure I told it.
Yeah.
Filling my drawers.
Well, I don't think you have actually. But,
Have I not?
and then you had to wear a diaper made of a sweatshirt.
Well, doesn't even qualify. as
I wouldn't
diaper.
necessarily tell that.
I thought we already did.
I think we've
thought
talked
we
about
did.
that. We've at least alluded to it.
Yeah.
multiple times.
Levi, what's your most embarrassing story?
So I know for a fact my life is riddled with embarrassing things.
All right, dude.
But
Love the way how serious you went. For a fact.
But for the life of me,
What's up with that?
I can't like think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's a little embarrassing.
See, like I was a really shy kid, nervous all the time. Like, so I have to have stories that were horribly embarrassing.
Yeah.
I can't think of any. I do have a
That's
really
a
funny
rough
one.
on the spot
I do
question.
know
It is.
my very first memory.
I have a
which
really fun
was
one that I heard on the
incredibly-
podcast, but on
I
different
was
podcasts.
incredibly embarrassed by later on, like, or actually in the moment I was.
What's that?
So very first memory, like this is it, like all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I believe, what?
I just thought of one. Sorry.
It was,
You thought of your most embarrassing story?
No, but one.
Oh.
it was my cousin's wedding.
Oh.
No. So at the wedding, I'm this little toddler kid, right? And I'm in a suit and stuff.
And you thought you were the groom.
And I thought I was, no. And my dad was the photographer.
He wished he was.
And
It's his cousin.
I forgot.
my cousin was an adult. Like, yeah. And I was a toddler.
They're getting married, so I would assume.
Yeah. Anyway.
I didn't think they were kids.
Let me tell the story. So, I see this little girl. She's like probably like 6 months younger than me, but for toddler, that's like a lot.
Half your life, yeah.
So she's like just sitting there in the middle of a field in this white dress, and I see
She
her.
wore white to a wedding?
She was a toddler.
No excuse.
All right.
The bride was like, whap.
That's why she was sitting in a field all alone. Yeah. But it's like
stars
spring,
align.
summer.
Yeah.
There's daisies all over this lawn. And then I just start picking daisies and I put them in a bouquet, and then I go over and I hand them to her, and then I look over and my dad's right there with the camera. So, not from my perspective, from adult perspective.
Yes.
I'm in a field, like messing around, being a little toddler, right? And my mom's talking to people. And then all of a sudden she sees that I'm picking these flowers right next to this little girl. And she just yells for my dad. My dad's on the other side of the location.
What a hero.
And my dad comes in. He's got this massive camera. He just starts sprinting. And he slides in on his knees across the grass and takes these pictures right as I'm handing the bouquet of daisies to this little girl. And then I get super embarrassed, and my dad is like sweating and like so happy that he caught this moment. And then
you were embarrassed just because your picture was taken?
Because I got caught and I was like,
handed flowers.
Were your
to a
intentions
girl.
then like, it's a pretty girl, I'm going to hand her flowers, or
Like in the most innocent way,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that was literally.
So I was just trying to find the correlation to like why you were embarrassed.
Yeah, and then my dad, and then I'm like, oh,
Because I have a very similar story of being a toddler, and it's so flip flopped. That's what's funny to me, that you were embarrassed about it. But
the thing about that, my dad takes that picture. It's and he gets it blown up like the size of the flag. And it's hanging. It was hanging in the hallway.
It's probably an adorable picture.
Yeah,
I think I've seen it.
It's adorable. I want to see it.
We no longer have the massive picture of it. It got destroyed when we moved houses, and a bird came in and pooped on
It
everything.
got blown up for the second time.
Yeah, I think I've seen that picture. Like, is it
you
on Facebook?
probably have.
It sounds adorable.
Yeah,
But like that's my first memory, and
because also like toddler Levi was adorable.
Most toddlers.
The pictures
are,
I've seen, like
except for me, but yeah,
you were hideous. Well, that was a
you
baby.
were an
that's true. I was a
you
cute
were a
toddler.
troll baby.
I was a troglodyte baby.
I think we've shared that picture before.
I was an absolute troglodyte.
But dude, the
were
picture of you.
Nary was there a baby that was so angry as I.
Yeah, the picture of you. You look like one of the Troll Kid toys because like the way your hair is sticking up, and you're so mad. And I'm just like smiling.
Jerry
ear
is
to ear, like
the
this is my
suburban
brother.
picture of happy child.
Yeah. At the same time, holding Jude around his tiny little chubby baby stomach, and because I'm probably 4 years old, there you're like 1, and you're just like,
I want to go back.
a baby on another
like you know,
Just like that.
that's well, the face you're making sounds
Is
like
that,
you'd
yeah.
be making the sound.
It's got to be peaking.
Oh yeah,
It did that last time.
but yeah, that's what I got.
Dude, I gotta clip that noise and put it on
Yeah.
our soundboard.
Dude, yes,
Me
please.
going. Sorry, we'll bring that down later. I think I'm gonna have to edit this podcast
That
episode.
was just a
'cause
sweet
there's a lot of-
story. That just was a story that made me happy.
Yeah, I was just super embarrassed by
Yeah.
it, like
Oh.
in the moment.
adorable.
And
In the
then
moment?
every single time that anyone would come over to the house that we actually had it like on the wall, my parents would like regale the story and then,
Regale the tale of Levi.
yeah.
The flower boy.
Levi the flower boy. So I have a similar story when I was about probably the same age. I think I was maybe 3.
I do think I might have been the ring bearer though. And that's why I was all like super
Dude,
dressed
why
up.
are we the same person?
I don't know though. I can't 100% like put my seal of approval on that, but
Put my seal of approval on that. I was the ring bearer in so many weddings. Like
The privilege
because
of being a cute kid.
well, and the only kid that existed.
I was a kid.
Because well, you didn't exist.
yeah, but you weren't a cute kid.
I existed.
So at the time of this wedding, you didn't exist yet. You were nary an idea.
Wait, I didn't exist?
Not during this one. There's
Well,
no
how
way.
old were you? 3?
I was maybe 3 years old, which would be,
You were the ring bearer at 3?
dude. As soon as I was born,
I was saying
all
that
of
I was-
mom's
I
friends,
may have been the ring bearer, and
all
I
of
was like
mom's
2.
friends were like, Heidi, you have a baby, and none of us have babies. So he's
baby.
like all of our baby.
Whoa.
Yeah. And like everybody was obsessed with me.
Let it be known I've never bore a ring, and I'm
I didn't-
salty about it.
Someday when I get married, you can be my ring bearer.
Please. Please.
Nothing else.
There's
I'm gonna make my brother, my 20-something-year-old brother, walk.
He's
Dude, you know what I do love though is
What?
when adult men are the flower.
yeah.
There's some funny videos of guys walking in with like awesome music, just like dropping flowers. It's so funny. I would never do that, but I might. If I
Didn't
do,
Lexi
it would
have
be
like the
her grandpa. And her grandma.
And grandma, like
sweet.
they were
They were
like
the ring
dressed
bearer
up
and
as
flower
like
girl.
fairies and
What?
like
What?
Her grandma, I think, had like fairy wings or something.
yeah.
No,
Her
her
grandpa
grandpa
definitely
Lexi's
was.
grandma is a fairy.
No,
very grandma.
No, but
She is
she,
a fairy.
she had like woodland like
Yeah, I feel
attire.
like that's
and
so
then
weird.
grandpa had like a suit, but like this gnarled old staff. That he
That's
was
just
walking
his walking stick, Levi.
Levi's just.
It fit the aesthetic.
But that's the walking stick that their grandpa just uses. Instead, I remember.
because it's super dope.
It also happens to be magical, but it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It is
okay.
He's like, this marriage shall not pass.
Yeah, he is a wizard, but it's just his walking
He
stick.
is a wizard, but it was just his
No, what I was trying to say is I was a ring bearer in a lot of weddings from like the age of 3 to 9. I think I was a ring bearer in like 6 or 7 weddings.
Yikers.
Crazy, right? All of Mom's friends. As they got married, they were like, well, you're the one that got married first, Heidi. We're going to use your boy.
It is our baby.
You have a baby?
The baby will bear the ring.
Precious.
Let your baby carry the ring.
That's pretty good.
That's actually
I didn't
really
notice
good.
the connection until then. So I think it was probably the first one. I don't remember whose wedding it is, but there's a family friend of our family who, for the longest time, until I think I was like 13 years old, I thought they were our cousins. You know who I'm talking about?
I don't.
Joe, Lily.
Collinsworth?
Yeah, I wasn't going to use their last name. Wow.
Shoot. I said Colin.
Dox these guys.
Yeah. So, family friend, dear friends of the family. I thought until I was probably 12 years old that they were actually like our cousins or something.
Yeah, I did too.
And so this is why my embarrassment came years later when I found out that I did this thing and then remembered doing it. Or no, I remembered my whole life, but it got brought up at a family gathering. And that's why this was embarrassing. Not when it happened, like with yours. So when it happened, I thought I was the coolest kid on the block. And I was probably 3 years old. It's easily one of my earliest memories, if not my earliest. Because I remember sitting there, and it's before the wedding. We're sitting, and I'm pretty sure it was at a wedding, but we're sitting. I think she was the flower girl. Her name was Lily. And I was the ring bearer.
Lily, the flower girl.
And we're sitting on the steps that lead up to the stage in the sanctuary. Mm-hmm. And they're getting pictures of us. And I remember so clearly thinking, I don't know why I was so smart. Because I looked at the people taking pictures of us and I went, we're dressed up. I'm wearing a little bow tie and dress shirt, dress pants. She's wearing a nice dress. And it's like when people are taking pictures of a boy and girl wearing nice clothes, what do they always do?
Oh.
They kiss.
Oh, I think yeah.
And so I looked and I went, oh, I've seen TV and also
I've seen TV.
People get pictures like this. And so I must not have been 3. I must have been a little older. But I was like, what do? They kiss. And so I look over at Lily and I distinctly remember going, they're taking pictures of us because we're cute little kids. This will be so cute. They're going to love this. And I turned, I just grabbed her face and just kissed her on the side of the cheek so aggressively. And so there's a picture of like the two of us and it's like a progression. We're like smiling. I look at her and then one with my hands up and the one where I'm like smashing into the side of her face.
Gosh.
And she's like, like flying backwards. And and then everybody, of course, that's an adorable picture. So there's like pictures of this that went around in our family for years. But the problem is when I was cognizant, like 6 years old. Yeah, when I was conscious, because I was in a coma for the first 6 years of my life. I was like, and I saw that picture, I remember thinking, oh my goodness. Everybody thinks this picture of me kissing my cousin is the cutest thing ever. This is so wrong because I thought she was my cousin. Mm-hmm. So for years, that people would bring it up at parties and stuff or whatever, and it'd be like, or at family gatherings, and I'd be like, no, not that photo. Don't mention it. And I'd go bury my head in the sand out of embarrassment. And then, like when I was 12 years old, entirely unrelated discussion was happening, and it was like, wait, they're not our cousins. And my grandparents were like, no, we've just known them for years. And I was like, oh, thank goodness.
I'm in the clear.
I didn't kiss my cousin.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's just funny because your thing, you're like embarrassed when you got caught. My thing was like, I'm being caught doing this and I thought it was adorable. And so I was like hamming it up for the camera and then
And then you find out that
You little
post-traumatic.
it was your cousin.
You little
and then
guy.
you find out that
you
it was
little
her.
rascal. This is gonna be adorable. They're gonna love me.
They're gonna love me. I'm gonna
love me.
Yeah, Jerry, 6 years old. They're gonna love
That was my inner monologue. That's how I sounded to myself. It was always, this is adorable.
Forgive me, Lily.
They're going to love me.
Give me Lily.
It's way creepier now.
Yeah, it's so much creepier.
Yeah.
Great.
So, Jude, you pooped yourself, and me and him had cute
I've already
little
told
baby
this.
Our
toddlers.
most embarrassing. We're like, what's your greatest flaw? I'm too hard of a worker. What's your most embarrassing
Yeah.
story? I was a cute little kid.
Oh, well, I was driving a grandma drawers.
What's up with that?
So, all right, we can mark that one off.
We can.
If you guys think of really funny, embarrassing stories, this could be a recurring segment, like the most embarrassing story segment.
Yeah,
I could do that.
If I can figure out any of the repressed ones.
Well, because
Dig a few
like
more
throughout
out.
your week, if you think of something, just write it down or like a prompt for it so you can remember. It don't make it something that like Jude does because then you don't remember what the prompts mean. Like
I remember my prompts now.
yeah, frothy chai tea deer headlights. You know, it's probably something like that, and you're like, what?
Do you want me to read my latest prompt?
No.
Okay.
Because if you have one, then I don't know why you didn't bring it up before the episode when I said, do you guys have anything you want to talk about?
Well, I write things down all the time, but sometimes they're just not good.
Let's go to the dream journal.
Christian clouds.
Christian clout?
Clouds.
Christian clouds?
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
Do you
No, you
remember
don't.
what that means?
No. No,
Does
I don't.
his life matter?
No.
I hit the wrong one.
He's just rolling in.
I'm just reading all the things I've written down, and I
Yeah.
don't know what any of them mean.
Huh, you were like, I know what they mean. Do you want to hear them?
This is like Dad kisses Jerry on the lips.
What? That did not happen.
It's just what I have written down.
Who was
What's
that?
that like?
I don't remember. It was something I was going to bring up. It was funny.
That was probably you wanting to write a or a totally real situation
maybe
script. Script.
A script for
a
this
totally real situation script.
Well, we have to reenact it. And sometimes we don't remember how things happen.
That's right. That's true.
So we're an hour in. Don't worry, I'm going to cut out some of the beginning stuff. And now I've also timestamped it, so then they're going to know that I did that. So that this isn't so
Nice
long.
job.
We're an indeterminate amount of time into the podcast.
So-
An indeterminate amount of time later.
I've got
we
two
have
possible questions
now.
here for actual fruitful discussion for us to talk about.
Fruitland.
You guys can pick one as like a topic. Ooh. I don't know if you guys saw this in the Discord because Jude, you don't exist there, but Levi probably did.
I came out of hiding to...
That was crazy.
I know. I did.
Um,
To support my brother.
To support my brother.
Defend his honor.
oh, there's been a request made.
You have honor?
So
My brother.
I opened my phone to go to Discord real quick, and I have a message here.
Gross.
I know.
He has a girlfriend, by the way, lady.
Jerry's got a girlfriend. And it's not his cousin.
And it's not his
Well,
cousin.
it's crazy. Yeah.
Jerry's got a
I
girlfriend.
talked about her before.
And it's
Here's
not.
your shout out, Perry.
Pelly.
She is French, apparently.
Is she?
She comes from the city.
She doesn't
Perry.
look French.
That's honestly, though, when I first met her, that's all I could think about.
Perry.
Like, was Perry being the French
Pronunciation of
Paris.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. Not Perry Mason, because every time Matt,
The lawyer?
Matt has referenced, he always says, "What's your girlfriend's name again?" Mason. And I'm like, Mason. Where's that come from? He's like,
Perry Mason.
and he waits long enough for me to go, "Oh, Perry Mason."
Yeah, sorry.
what a weird
I'm
deep
not
cut.
old.
Sorry, I'm not old like you, man. So
You don't remember Perry Mason?
Judas.
Yes. Well, I don't like that.
What? I can't call you Judas?
I don't like that I get called Judas.
I got to play Judas in a play.
Why don't you like being called Judas?
I don't know. There's this guy in history that's known for really screwing up. His name is Judas.
Well, I wanted to. This isn't an effort to toot our own horn, but I do want to read
He was
this.
fulfilling prophecy.
I do want to read this
He was
because
part of the plan.
Ciaran.
All right. What's the question?
It's not a question.
Oh.
No,
She
it's not
pointed
a
something out. You saw it.
Yeah.
You
I
didn't
did see
like
this.
it.
No.
You doofus.
I
You
hadn't
didn't
read
comment.
it.
You didn't respond.
I
didn't
saw
say
it in
thank you?
passing while I was.
Stop hitting the table. Stop doing that, man.
I'm sorry. Here's your
Do you
official
edit the
shout.
podcast?
Do I what?
Do you edit the podcast?
No, but I get yelled at if I hit the table, so I have the right to yell at you.
That's true.
Yeah. Welcome to the
Yell
adult
at me.
world.
Don't do it. So, Sirendina said, I'm just kind of treating this like one of the 5-star reviews, like we read it. And I also want to shout her out and say thank you because she's had a lot of great input, insight about the podcast. One of our most consistent people in the Discord, in our Under the Influence section, who responds to stuff we talk about, and I really appreciate it. So I want her to know that.
And she's a very cool lady.
Yes. So first and foremost, thank you, Serendina, for being a member of the community. Thank you for getting involved. We ask regularly, some people do, and it means the world to us. You know, it means the world to us that people listen, but we really love to see people get involved. And so she's had a lot of great insight, and I could probably quote some of the things that she said too. It would be awesome about things that we've talked about. But she said today, as a listener, I felt for a while like I'm in the room with you guys as you record. But when you guys prayed together, so referencing, I think, a couple episodes ago, I was praying too as I listened, and it actually felt like fellowship. It's so cool how God works even through online connections. And then she said, I tend to write my prayers down too, because otherwise I get distracted, but I don't often go back and read them. Knowing this, I started a list of, quote, stuff God has done for me, along with a few long-term prayer requests at the bottom, because I want to be able to go back and remember God's faithfulness. I think that's reference to something we talked about in that episode.
Yeah, we talked about writing down our prayers so that we could look
recognize,
back on them
exactly,
and actually recognize, because most of the time we don't, and we just take.
Which is something I think we could check up on that. Like, have you guys been better about that? I definitely have been. Like going back and looking at...
I have not been writing them down.
I haven't been writing them down very consistently. I just mean like when I have been praying in the morning, because I try and pray in the morning every morning, and I do pray throughout the day, but especially when I'm praying in the morning, or if I'm praying at the end of the day, I think about the last 2 or 3 times I prayed and go, how has God worked in the things that I prayed about? Maybe not just answered in the way I wanted, but like if I think, retroactively or retrospectively or whatever about those things I prayed about, has God acted on them? And if so, how? It doesn't have to be the way I thought, and that has been really interesting because I have noticed some like little steps that you can start noticing, because you don't just have to notice. It's not like it is possible to not just notice, oh, this whole prayer has been fully answered and completed, or at least as far as I'm aware. You can like start noticing like little things God is changing, which is cool. Yeah. So I've been doing that. I have not been very good about writing it all down, so I should do that since we kind of committed to doing that. But it's cool to see her respond in that way and say that she's doing that, or that she's starting doing it. I don't know which, but yeah, I first of all, it's like I said, it's not to kind of toot our own horn here. What it is to do, what I am trying to do is highlight her for just really encouraging me and saying something that I thought was wonderful. The first part specifically, talking about how she often feels like she's in the room with us as we're talking, which I think is great. That's the whole point. It's like we're having a conversation. I want people to feel like they're a part of it. But when she said that when we prayed together, she was praying too as she listened, and it actually felt like fellowship. Very few things that I've heard in response to the podcast have been as meaningful as that. Other things have, but that's pretty top 5, because man, it feels good to serve God. And especially when you see the impact. And this isn't to say like, man, you guys, the 3 of us are impacting so many people, We're
not tooting our own horn.
Huh?
We're not tooting our own horn.
Yeah. It's like, man, it's so good to see something that we are proud to be a part of. Proud in the good way, right? Not in the narcissist
thing. Like, man, hey guys, we made a connection. We made an impact. To some level, it is. Well, I can say that without tooting.
I am proud of God and His work, right? And that's what I take pride in. And it's magnificent to know, right? And it's just, part of that is just her thinking, hey, I want to tell them this, and I just really appreciate that. So I wanted to thank her for that on the show. Yeah. So yeah, be encouraged, the 2 of you. Like, if you didn't see that, I know Levi did. I don't know, Jude, you probably didn't.
I did not.
I know at times for me, I know Levi's talked about it at times for him, this has happened. He talked about this when my grandpa was here. But like sometimes you don't really feel like what you're doing matters, right? I think that's part of where that clip comes from, that does his life matter thing. And sometimes it's like, it's easy to struggle with, are you offering anything of value, or are people listening, or does it matter that we're doing this? And by that one testimonial alone, we've had others, but like that one alone, obviously it does. It's very encouraging to me to hear that, and just makes me want to go, all right, let's keep doing it and let's do it better.
And we've got the privilege of having a platform and a way of people contacting us after the fact.
Exactly. Discord is like the best social media, I think.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's so cool because it's super. There's a ton of integration with it. This is just like a technology discussion, I guess. But just there's a reason why our community is there, because it's so easy to do things like what we're doing there. That's why we're doing it there, rather than like starting a Facebook group or
it's incredibly
it's like
versatile.
a way better put together forum.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and it's just really, really awesome. So I'm also thankful for the fact that we use that, because it's allowed us to reach people really effectively. We're constantly seeing people come in. I think we talked about this last week, but our Discord is so much more now than just a gaming group that are Christians, focused on living a godly life first rather than gaming first. Now it is just this place online where people are showing up for, godly influence and community. And man, that just makes me so happy. It's so wonderful to be a part of that. And this is just a testimonial for it. So I'll use that as a segue to say, if you don't even have to love the show, but if you are a believer, if you're not, and there are topics or things that we talk about on here that you want to talk to us about, and you can disagree with us and talk to us about it in that way, we'd love to hear from you. And the easiest way to do so, you don't have to be a gamer. And I'm talking to you, the one that thinks you know who you are. But wait, Jerry, I don't play video games, so why would I use this Discord thing? So much of it is not about video games. Sign up, join a prayer group, join our Bible study, talk to us. It'd be awesome. I want to hear from you. So, sucked the oxygen out of the room a little bit. Sorry.
No, you were saying something before all that.
What was I saying before that?
You were getting this. I don't know. You were getting this.
Oh, when I was like, I have something that you guys can pick from. And then I was just like, hey, I wanted to do that real quick. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, you're good.
I have two quick little things, little prompts here, and we can talk about either one or work through one of them. And then if we have time, talk about the other. How are you demonstrating your faith? That's one. We can talk about that. Or I've been thinking about, throughout my week, about justice not being mine, but God's, or vengeance not being mine. Because of the sermon that our glorious, wonderful pastor, Mr. Chadwick Hermiston.
Are we saying his phone? I don't know what you were prompting me for.
I didn't know what you were.
I was hoping you'd do that thing where we both start going like, we could like do it.
Chapstick.
Chapstick.
Burt's Bees. Cooling.
It doesn't matter now. It's over. Yeah. Our pastor, who we're probably going to have on an episode here pretty soon.
Yeah, if he ever actually
if he would
shows interest,
show some interest, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
But Chad talked about, he's going through Revelation, and he talked about Revelation 6. So we could talk about that, or we could talk about demonstrating faith, because that's also something I've been thinking a lot about because of that Bible study in James, how our actions are evidence of our faith. So,
well, I missed the sermon because I was teaching the little ones.
That's a different sermon.
It's a different sermon.
I'm talking about a sermon that you were there for.
This is 2 weeks ago.
Oh my word!
The sermon that you missed, he talked about the locusts. It's similar, right? A lot of these Revelation sermons are about, the theme of it is that through terrible hardship, God is protecting us, right? And sheltering us and stuff. But, that's probably a really oversimplified, it's late. Sorry.
No, I mean, you're trying to summarize a sermon in a few words on a
podcast.
A
sermon series.
A sermon series, yeah. It's
on an entire book of the Bible.
That's why they are similar, but...
Granted oversimplification.
But yeah, the one I'm referencing is one you were there for, I thought. It's where he talked about...
Yeah, no.
Romans... Did I say Romans earlier too?
You did. Oh, no. You said
Revelation 6:10. I guess this is what we're talking about because we're moving along here. There's just a song that I was listening to that I really like. I love Casting Crowns. And there's a song called "Oh My Soul," and there's a line in that song that made me think of the sermon that he preached a few weeks ago. And so I've just been thinking about it again, and I'll play it for you here. You ready to hear it, boys?
Go.
Really loud.
Wow.
Wow. Isn't that... Isn't that just profound?
Well, yeah.
Impactful and profound.
Speechless, flabbergasted.
Let me just pull up the
Flabbergasted.
Can he keep me from going?
This is a different spot in the song.
Oh, my soul, you are not alone.
Here we go.
There's a place where fear has to face the God you know.
That's the line, that last bit.
There's a place where fear has to face the God you know.
Because there was a focus in one of his sermons about how as difficult and terrifying as persecution is, and we, I mean, as American Christians, right, face different persecution than a lot of those early Christians did, right? And they faced some persecution that other people in the world are facing, that kind of real life martyrdom and torture and stuff that we don't, right? But for us, it can still be pretty upending to our lives in a way that makes it so you have to have real bravery to still demonstrate your faith. Because for some people, it's like a matter of losing position or their job or respect or family, friends, that kind of thing. By seeking to live a godly life, you can put those things at risk and in jeopardy. And so that's why I do like in the song, he talks about fear. There's a place where fear itself has to face the God you know. But in that sermon, he, what's his name? Chapstick Hermiston had been talking about how there is a time, right? This beautiful, wonderful encouragement to the believer that there is not only a time where we will see eternity with him, right? This glorious reward that should be a focus of ours, right? There also will come a time where those who seek to destroy, defame, and ruin the believer, in the midst of the believer still, remaining steadfast and running the race, there's a time where they will face God. That I just think is such a profound and meaningful message that I really appreciated him talking about. Were you not there for that one, Levi? Now that I'm mentioning, talking about it, do you remember it? There was a week I think that you missed because you were sick. So that might have been that week, but
it might have been that week.
Well, here, this is for you then.
This is for you.
I just think it's a profound message because it does kind of appeal to a different sensibility, I think in the life of the believer, which is like justice. And it's so often that we want to see justice dealt out, but then we have to remind ourselves that to in a lot of ways, right, turn the other cheek and allow God to sort those things out. And it's not our job to pass judgment on unbelievers that are ridiculing and persecuting us or whatever that looks like. And then so often, which this isn't one of those situations where I'm saying like the church is doing this and we shouldn't be, but right, the often or common reminder and good one is that, but someday we will live in paradise with him forever, and that is the reward. We look forward to that. We run the race. We run steadfast and sprint towards that. But man, I love this other aspect of it too, which is that not only do we just turn the other cheek, right, and let God sort it out, but there will come a day where those fears and those things face God. And I believe it was from Romans 6:10, where it says, or it starts in Romans. I said Romans, dude. I can't stop saying Romans. Revelation. I'm so sorry. 6:9, when he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar of the souls of those who had been slain because of the word of God and the testimony they had maintained. I love that. Because of the word of God and the testimony that they had maintained, right? These people that have maintained their testimony. Verse 10, they called out in a loud voice, how long, sovereign Lord, holy and true, until you judge the inhabitants of the earth and avenge our blood? Verse 11, then each of them was given a white robe, and they were told to wait a little longer until the full number of their fellow servants, their brothers and sisters, were killed just as they had been. So obviously sounds like it's specifically talking about martyrs, right? But they're not told that that's not going to happen, they're told to wait, right? Implying that it is going
You
to
wait
happen.
for something that's coming.
You wait for something that's happening. Yeah, you don't wait for something that's not going to happen, right?
It's an interesting thing because I think a large part of it is meant to give peace to believers, and there's certainly a trap that the devil employs, which is it is a complete circle you can get thrown into where instead of feeling peace because you can be legitimately concerned or frightened or wary of real evil in the world, of real evil people, and then God says, "Wait, just wait. Vengeance is mine." And instead of taking that to heart and being at peace, you can fall into this vindictive nature where then you set your heart on just you wait.
Yeah.
Because God's going to get his vengeance. And I don't think that's any better than being afraid or wary of it.
Along with that, so we have prophets, Jonah. He's told to go to Nineveh. And then he's like, all right, I told them that they're going to be destroyed. Now I'm going to sit back and watch God destroy these people. But vengeance is God's, in Romans and in Deuteronomy. Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. And if we, so for two ways, if we try to take out vengeance now, that's not right, because we, as believers and as the example of God and God's love for all people, we have to give people opportunities to follow God, because that's
opportunities for redemption, right?
Yeah, because in Hosea, we've been going over that in our Bible study. And Hosea, it all starts out with showing how God loves us even when we run away from him and do everything bad. And God is always striving to have a relationship with us. And that doesn't just go for us, it also goes for our enemies. They, those that persecute you, like Paul was persecuting the Christians. And I'm sure that there were many Christians that were being persecuted, at the hands of then Saul, that would have wanted to take revenge on him.
Wasn't he technically always Saul and Paul? Because Paul was just his Gentile name. The conversion, of him from being a persecutor to a believer, was that really where it took place, where he was just like, now I'm Paul? I always thought so too, but I heard somebody recently say that that's a misconception.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong about that.
Well, I was just curious to hear if you had heard of that, but that doesn't matter.
But
that could be wrong. I'll look into it after.
But if people had taken vengeance and gone out and were so filled with wrath and zeal and killed Saul, before he changed and wrote most of the New Testament, then that would have massively impacted the Christian movement.
Yeah, if we're supposed to be examples of Christ, it's funny that we're not supposed to be like Jonah. We're not supposed to be like Simon, the zealot.
Yes,
we're
Simon,
supposed to be examples of Christ, and Christ didn't exactly what Simon wanted. Christ kind of wasn't. He wasn't here to lead an army against Rome.
He wasn't the Yeshua or
the holy warrior prophet. Yeshua was his name. So
I'm talking about the one that they were expecting, though. The one that they were expecting to be like the last.
Yeah. To lead the people through.
And they're all like, he's here to overthrow Rome. Even while he was there, those who believed that he was the Messiah, they're like, not only saying he is the Messiah, but they're saying he is the Messiah here to overthrow Rome. And he wasn't.
And none of
he was the Messiah, but he wasn't.
And died for sinners. And then even after his death, there were still Paul's not, going, look at that church. Look at that church in Corinth. They're going to get their, their due judgment when they fail. He's feverishly and furiously writing letters, sending them all over the place, going, guys, please, you're doing these things wrong. It's just not only don't worry about those whose vengeance, God is going to have his vengeance, but also don't take any joy in sitting in the shade
Yeah.
and watching
Yeah.
God's vengeance, because then you're making it your own.
No,
You're making
you're
it a
right.
spectacle.
And then
for
you fall to Jonah, who was just sitting there waiting and was passing out from heat exhaustion, waiting to watch.
Give me my
Nineveh
reward.
I always forget about
burn
that.
up.
Let me see my spectacle.
I love that.
Well, in VeggieTales,
yeah.
God gave him some shade, but that's not canonical.
Wait, he does in VeggieTales?
Yeah, in VeggieTales,
God
he
grows
grows
a tree
plant,
or something.
and
So he
then a
encourages
caterpillar
the
comes
behavior?
and eats it, and it falls
No,
over.
I think for the sake of the children, it just shows God's lovingness towards Jonah still.
Well, no, because then a caterpillar ruins it. So that's like God playing a
Yeah,
prank.
and then he like gets really angry at the caterpillar, and then he has his reconnection.
He's
with
like,
God.
this caterpillar's probably a Philistine too.
Wait,
Well, it
Philistine?
did so happen to be the
Wait,
caterpillar
what did I say?
that was on the ship, which was not full
Oh.
of Christians.
I remember that.
Yeah.
My VeggieTale knowledge isn't super up to date.
Sorry, I watched VeggieTales.
I said
so
Philistine.
much.
I meant Ninevite.
Ninevite.
My bad.
Yeah.
Paul was just, or Jonah was just like, I also hate Philistines.
I also hate Philistines.
He probably did.
I mean, most likely. But yeah, and
Wait, Philistine?
Paul tells us in
They're Nineveh, but the caterpillar was a Philistine.
That's right.
It was a giant caterpillar.
in Romans 12, 19, and 20 and 21. Pulling from Deuteronomies, Paul is telling people, do not avenge yourselves, dear friends, but give place for God's wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. Rather, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him drink. For in doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And because not only like you heap burning coals on them when they're like, what the heck, why don't you fight me back? And then it like doesn't feel like a real victory for them. Not only that, but also you're giving opportunities by not lashing out against them and like, or going to the extreme of like killing them.
Yeah.
Like you're giving them opportunities to use their free will to possibly follow Christ and repent for what they've done.
Yeah, you're denying them their expected worldly response, right? The norm to them, it's like, especially to the world, they show violence or vitriol, and the worldly response that's expected is
to repay evil with evil.
Right, to see the same thing come back in kind. And then instead, you are demonstrating the ever redeeming love of God.
Yeah.
Right.
And that even though, like, throughout the Old Testament, when the Jews and the priests and all of Israel would just spit in God's face, he was still like, you know, you're still like my people. And he's extended that to all of us. That redeeming love. Yeah.
Since you guys are going,
good book, redeeming.
You don't get to say that.
Did you read it?
Before
I was joking.
either review.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
It's because you've been part of the people that have been persecuting me for reading it.
Persecuting you?
Oh,
I read it before you. What's going on?
I do like that book. It's very good.
It's a great book.
It's
The
a wonderful
movie's
book.
Not as good.
Well, the
as
movie's
book.
not really, yeah, but the book is good. Because you guys are going through that Bible study in Hosea. Hosea. I've been on my own time. That's what I've been reading throughout the week. I'm reading it really slowly.
I mean, we're only reading like the first 3 verses and then skipping to the next chapter.
That's kind of the format. We read the first 3 to 4 verses, and then next week we spark notes the rest of the chapter and move to the next 3 to 4 verses.
Yeah.
Well, I've been reading it, so apparently.
I mean, I've been reading it on my own time.
We are reading.
Okay.
It was a
But
bit of fun.
it was
yeah, just because I'm not usually able to go. Well, I haven't been able to go to that, but I'm going to a thing on Saturday nights. But it's one of those books that when you're a young Christian, especially like a kid, but when you're, because there's some obvious things that, like they're not going to teach that in Sunday school as a kid. Just some of the themes, are good, but I mean, you know what I mean?
Yes. I think everyone knows.
There's some adult themes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's one that
have to beat around the bush of Hosea. I think we're pretty within our. Like,
I don't think I was beating around the bush, but I was just. But it's like something I remember even as a teenager and stuff. It's just like that book that I never read until high school when, technically we read through the whole Bible all 4 years of high school. At least we did. Is it still a thing?
I have no idea.
Because it was the soaps or whatever, the everyday reading that was assigned to us it was designed in such a way so that we would go through the whole Bible over the course of 4 years.
I think that they still do soaps. I don't know.
But is it still formatted that way? It has to be.
I don't know the exact.
The first 3 years of soaps
I know that
was just Psalms.
I know that he
Really?
changed.
Yeah. For us.
I know.
Much.
I know that
wild.
he changed the format a little bit.
But we also had a different teacher.
Am I wrong about that? That was the thing.
That
right?
was the thing.
Yeah, it was
that
so that
we would go through the Bible like once every 2 years, like read through the whole thing.
Every 2 years.
So after 2 years,
I thought it was
you had
over
gone
4
through
years.
the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
I thought, but I might.
You're probably right. That way, that people that show up even their junior year still get through it. But no, it's so until then, like, and I don't remember reading it then, but I'm sure we did. But it's one of those things that, like, throughout my life, it's a book that I was like, I never got around to reading because it's just this one that, like, you don't really talk about when you're younger. And I think that one of the reasons you don't is because of some of the adult themes in it. But it's a wonderful,
It's
a wonderful story.
Good example of God's love.
And in the Old Testament too, right? Because it's super easy.
And it's such a good example of how we need to follow God. Like,
I mean, it's literally God literally making an example. He's saying, I'm going to make you an
because he's like,
example of my
yo,
love."
Hosea, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
But you got to
There's
do
a prostitute.
this. And like the first few years, he didn't even like prophesy anything as a prophet. He merely lived the example that God was telling him.
And
to
it's
show.
not like, Hosea, you're going to win her over to me and turn her around.
No.
She's going to keep leaving you.
She's
And
going
you're
to
gonna keep
remain
pining after her.
an adult.
Pining after her because I said so. And so out of obedience.
Yeah.
Right.
And it also shows like God's not going to like always like.
Because that's what I've been doing for my people forever.
Yeah.
And will be doing.
But he's also not going to call you to do something that you're going to be like, oh, I'm really happy that I'm going to go and like, this is exactly what I wanted to do for my life.
Yeah, but hopefully in serving God, you do learn to take joy in serving Him.
Oh, yeah,
whether or
yeah,
not
yeah.
the service is like
it's
gut wrenching or not.
It's
right?
not the the location or
the act.
the acts that like you're called to do that you are in it for and doing it for. It's who you're doing it for.
Because God
It's all
doesn't
doing it
promise
for
us,
God.
right? God doesn't promise us that if you follow me, you will be doing the type of service that like maybe an altruistic good thing that you love, but
you will pick up your cross daily.
Yeah. And some people are lucky to do something that they did already love.
Oh, yeah.
Or they learn to love it, right? Which I think that's probably more in line with what we're talking about, because they learn to take joy in something that like that other people go, why would you want to do that? And it's like, well, it's not like I was like, I want to run into dangerous tribes of people who hate.
Yeah.
And
and
the word of God.
Jesus didn't want to go to the cross. He prayed to take the cup away from him.
Yeah.
But he didn't nonetheless.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
Not
think
many
we're
people
ever-
are like, I really want to die for something,
I mean,
I want to be a martyr. Some people, but
yeah,
but it's not the norm, right?
I think it's
Definitely
rarely
is
ever
not
the act that you're called to do that you find joy in. It's the act of serving God.
Yeah, that's
by
my
said
point.
means. Yeah.
Which is wonderful. And so you were saying before, right? That is such a perfect example of that. The book of Hosea is. And I also love that it's found in the Old Testament because a common thing that is said is like, what does the Old Testament have to offer the New Testament believer, right? Like, because of the law and all this other stuff, like what examples does it have of being an ambassador of Christ? It's like, dude, Hosea, like
Remember
beautiful
all the judges?
example of redeeming love. I mean, yes, I know it's not the only one. I'm obviously not saying that, but like that is a common thing, right? It's like, well, we're just going to focus on the New Testament because here are all the instructions on how to live, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, not at all. The Old Testament is absolutely full of it. And some of it's so beautifully profound too. And so I don't like seeing that get ignored.
Yeah.
I mean, the New Testament is so full too, though, of like such wonderful, applicable stuff. Like I've talked about before, that's why I love James and Philippians. Those are some of my favorite books because it feels like every verse it's going, here is applicable action in your life. But then looking at Hosea, it's like
the Old Testament is full of people going through hardships and God pulling them through.
Full of people's lives, like the story of their lives. And you go, oh, I have the story of an old, like of someone's life to be an example.
Wow,
to me.
I am literally King David.
Yeah. I think
or reading Proverbs and going, I am the fool.
The Old and New Testament are really good examples of the importance of prescriptive and descriptive.
Yeah.
You've got the letters from Paul that are like case in point.
Prescriptive?
Prescriptive. They're telling you how and
you
what.
have this
and
thing going on.
And then the Old Testament is filled with just descriptive of just people living after God's own heart.
Or living not after
living
God,
not
right?
after.
And you seeing what the ramifications of it.
And how fast everything can go downhill just from being not content, but like, I don't know.
Serving yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's another common question, right? That somebody asked me a while ago and said, like, maybe you guys could talk about it on the podcast. And I never brought it up, but why are so many books in the Bible often ignored? And if you ask that question, I mean, the ones that are often ignored, right, are Old Testament books. Your prescriptive, descriptive thing. Think about that. Everybody wants the fast track. And
Prescriptive.
Right? And medicine is the fast track. And because it's the easier thing to take bite-sized anecdotes from, and it doesn't make it wrong. But it's like, yeah, that's absolutely why that is looked to way more, and why people, especially new Christians, I think that's an effective tool. But like, it's like, well, here's the medicine. So start with that. And then it's like, okay, here's a little bit more meaty substance. Where is it that it says that too in the Bible? Is it Corinthians? Yeah, where he's like, you still need milk, right?
Yeah.
And which this, not to say the New Testament is the milk, but like these are the prescriptive things. These are like the, okay, do not do this, do this.
And so much of it is like the thought of, well, the Old Testament is just the same thing over and over again. People walk away from God. God sends a prophet. They come back to God. Then they walk away from God. And then bad things happen. God sends a prophet. But when you look at it, that's just humans.
That's all the humans.
And
that's
so many
like
examples that are for different reasons too.
Yeah, and there's so many different reasons that you can apply to whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And you can see how, like, because you're strong in certain parts of your life doesn't mean that that you are strong in all parts of your life. And if you focus too much on certain things, you'll start to see yourself fall. And in those kind of ways, like, because there's many ways that the Israelites fell from serving God. I mean, it all came down to them putting things before God.
Yeah.
But like it's very,
whether idols or themselves or
the people around them, like the non-believer, or just focusing on doing the action and then not caring about why or yeah.
It's fascinating. I don't know what we started talking. We started talking about remembering the encouragement that is vengeance is God's and it will come, right?
Yeah.
And then but there's two sides to that coin. Don't swing too far to one side of it, right? Where you're just sitting like Jonah, waiting to revel in the destruction of your enemies. But instead, we are to believe that the things we fear will face God, right? And to take encouragement in that, but to be an ever present example of God's redeeming love, despite that will come.
Because the big thing is, we can't see what people are going to heaven and what people will eventually turn their life around to God.
Right.
Because I know, like personally, I've met people who the farthest thing from Christians and then turn to God.
People in the Discord were talking about that recently. They were talking about
their whole life around.
They were talking about serial killers in the Discord recently, like because that show came out about Dahmer and stuff, and they were talking about how, you know, the story is that at the very end he came to accept Christ as his savior, right? And then one of the other ones, who was it, Ted Bundy? But they were just talking about, like, it just goes to show that God can still use anyone as a testimony for his redeeming love, right? Even those most evil amongst us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just like you were saying, it's just an example, and it's just interesting that they were just talking about that. I think it was a question of the day thing or something, but or somewhere, but I think that was actually also Cirandina who brought that up. So props to Cirandina again. But yeah, I was just saying, so talking about, go ahead.
We're stupid humans.
Yes,
and we can't see the big picture. So don't try and take vengeance, because God's gonna do all that in his own time to the right people. And
who are we to know who the right people are?
Be an example and show God's love and mercy to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And you may not get to put out vengeance against people, but people do get really frustrated when you don't just crumble to their attacks against you.
Yeah, I guess if that's
and
the
you
reason,
don't repay evil for evil.
That shouldn't just be the reason.
That shouldn't
why you
just
do it.
be.
You shouldn't be like, I'm doing this because I know it's going to annoy you.
But like, you can get some.
No, stop. You remember when Jude was like, "That's true, but let me tell you why our intentions behind it are important."
No, I know.
Let's not undermine that whole thing by being like, "Also remember,
you can really rub them raw."
Yeah.
Well, Paul did say that you'll heap burning coals on top of their heads.
Yes.
That's all I'm
I guess
saying.
in a way he was kind of pointing out that too.
So
I mean, I guess it makes sense to address the people that are wanting to, quite literally, like zealots, right? Or wanting to quite literally take vengeance, to be like, well, if vengeance is what you want, remember, this is a side effect of it. But, you know, but the point of those hot coals too is that, like, hot coals are different than a knife. Hot coals are something that don't kill you immediately, and they sit there. And I think hot coals are a great imagery, or is it analogy or metaphor? Probably analogy for conviction in some ways, right? Like your example of turning the other cheek can lead to these people feeling convicted. Do you disagree?
No, I was doing the face again, but I'm completely following
because you looked staunchly opposed to what I was saying. I think they're a beautiful example or metaphor or analogy, whichever one it is, that of, man, throwing these
doing
faces,
throwing out faces
of like, what are you saying right now? Stop with your head.
Heresy?
Yeah, of conviction, right? And I think that's kind of a great way of looking at it too. I don't necessarily think he's saying, you know, those of you that want to turn around and stab the person that's stabbing you, well, here's a way of kind of feeling that way. It's like, no. Here's a way of like, yeah, you are responding in a way that they may not like, but the thing that he's using as the imagery there is something that's like, no, it's not going to respond with what they're doing to you in the same way right away. It's going to respond in a way that's something that weighs on them and slowly eats at their mind and their heart. No, I don't mean in a physical sense.
Yeah.
But like, and then they, it's conviction because it's so
mind.
counter. It's so counter to the worldly expectation. It is this: I am stoning you to death right now, and you're just smiling at me and doing nothing about it and walking away and
Stephen
and saying,
what is wrong with you?
God loves you. So
yeah.
Yeah. We're in an edit out. I don't know what happened there. Got my tongue all tied up. We're pretty far into this.
Tongue all tied up.
Get my tongue all tied up. Is there anything you want to say, Jude?
In regards to closing statements,
since that's what we're doing,
your closing argument. So, what's the opposition to God?
Don't forget. Go ahead.
I have a closing argument.
You have a closing argument? You have a closing devil's advocate statement?
Jeez. Man, but vengeance feels good.
No.
Have you guys heard of Batman?
He's got a point.
Dude, every time it's been said that vengeance is his, I keep thinking like,
vengeance.
unless you're Batman. Because he is vengeance.
Who are you? I'm vengeance.
Wait, are you claiming to be God?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm a Seventh-day Adventist.
What?
That's the only thing I could add vengeance.
Oh, that you're making a claim about them.
No, nothing.
That they claim to be God.
Seventh-day
Are you claiming
to be Batman?
I'm a Seventh-day Adventist.
I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I'm also
Adventist.
Batman. No.
Adventist.
Hey, more importantly.
Hate, more importantly.
No.
Hate more.
No.
Oh, did you say hey?
You both need to
he said
silence your
hey.
mouths while I gather my thoughts for half a second.
No.
That doesn't mean play a sound effect.
How are we going to go about that?
That is so indicative. Jerry loves the soundboard so much. You can see his fingers
We
just
honestly
crawling
should
towards
take
the
it away
keyboard
from
like,
sometimes.
What, you think you do better?
I mean,
hey,
I don't think I could do worse.
don't worry about vengeance. Stop. Okay?
Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to have a little win with, hey, but acting loving will also rub him the wrong way.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about it. It's not yours. You're literally worrying about something that is not yours. It's not yours. You don't own it. That's my closing statement. Stop worrying about it.
I like it. It's emphatic.
It's not
That's
easy.
right.
Stop it. Get some help.
Tell me to stop talking? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
You look at me. Stop it. And
Stop
look
it.
at-
Well, if I see you reach for that soundboard one more
I'm
time.
not reaching for the soundboard.
He's reaching for the soundboard.
I'm just moving the mouse away from the soundboard and towards the record button.
Was that like a threat to end the recording?
Is you moved it back towards the soundboard?
I can't tell what he's
moving
doing.
back
I'm
towards
just
the soundboard.
scared. I know he's moving it towards the soundboard. Oh my god!
I thought you were going to.
How are we going to go about that?
No, I'm not going to play the same one twice in a row. What do you think I am? Some kind of hack?
Yeah.
Wow. Levi, you got a closing statement?
I think he already did it. That's why I asked you.
That's why.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. This has been a joyous time. It always is. Thank you for being a part of what we do. It means a lot to us. And if you'd like to be a bigger part of it, sincerely, join us on Discord, discord.gg/Christian influence. Excuse me.
Christian influence.
Influence. And,
Christian inference.
And talk to us. We'd love to talk to you because it means a lot to us. So, all right. Have a wonderful week. Again, thank you for listening. We love you very much.
Roll the outro.
I end the program by saying, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are.
That's a good one.